Hey, Dark Matter fans, welcome to Hyperion 8 Galactic Detention Facility. Take a look. This is where we end up after being dragged unceremoniously off the Raza at the end of Season 1. Wanted to introduce you to where it is I'll be staying for the next couple episodes. You'll notice that I've got everything I need. One of the neat things about these cells is this bed right here. This is 100% certified prison issue from Kingston Penitentiary, Kingston, Ontario. I'm gonna spin around and take a peek at the whole facility. So if you can get all the way on down there and see Lauren, right out. So you've seen the fact that the jail cell ends after about 10 of these cells, and there's a blue screen. So what Lauren's going to do right now is he's going to shoot this, and then he's going to repeat it, and repeat it, and repeat it, and repeat it. So when you see it on camera, it's going to look like 2,000 cells in a straight line. But this is what we start with. Okay, so we're going to walk off the set here. I don't know what any of this other stuff is, so let's go exploring together. So we're on lunch, so, you know, the glamorous cast chair is all empty. More hallways, God knows where they go. And here we are again. This looks to be the infirmary, I would guess. Pretty cool. Behind here, fake door. All right. Are you sure your weapons are secured? Maybe that's some sort of armory. I'm gonna guess it's an armory. That's the warden's office in there. When you see sets like this, they look so barren, and there's still a lot of work to be done with the folks from Set Deck who come on and they create essentially the world from these sort of rather neutral kind of sets. In the first episode, we get gassed to be cleaned up, and this hallway has been repurposed as that gas chamber. There it is. So I know they didn't spend all this money for just episode 1, so we'll see what's going on, how long we end up staying on board this particular set, and then how long it gets repurposed and into what. Thanks for coming along. Another fun begins. This is just a Saturday night in the cell block.
I am standing in Hyperion 8 right now, which is the prison that we're using for Season 2 of Dark Matter.
24 Charlie, take 1.
So the scene we just filmed was 4 being ticked off. Make your move.
What's going to happen is 4 is going to get some grief from a bunch of the inmates, and he's going to set about testing the prison's riot response.
If you push 4's buttons enough, you get a throat punch and some flying kicks. It was overwhelming at first, but because of
Another fun begins. This is just a Saturday night in the cell block.
I am standing in Hyperion 8 right now, which is the prison that we're using for Season 2 of Dark Matter.
24 Charlie, take 1.
So the scene we just filmed was 4 being ticked off. Make your move.
What's going to happen is 4 is going to get some grief from a bunch of the inmates, and he's going to set about testing the prison's riot response.
If you push 4's buttons enough, you get a throat punch and some flying kicks. It was overwhelming at first, but because of how John Stead just coordinated everything, it was just so empowering just having to take all those guys at once in that jail.
There's going to be guys flying off the tables at each other. It's going to be, it's a total riot, and it's a lot of fun.
They're just lucky the sword isn't around. So the stunt team that we have in Dark Matter is absolutely amazing. They're so committed to what they do. I learn from every single one of them every time we have a stunt performance or rehearsal to do.
When we rehearsed this, and the first time the guys went at it, in fact, the first 2 times the guys went at it, they just started breaking into gales of laughter. All those guys there, and they were having so much fun.
Watching John Stead is absolutely insane, just to see his brilliance happen, and on the spot at that, and it's so inspiring just to watch him think, and then he snaps out of it, and all of a sudden, here's this beautiful choreography. Season 1, that was my first time with weapons ever, but now being 4, it is weird not grabbing for the sword or going for a gun or something, but as Alex Malari, it's home for me. Coming back for Season 2 from Season 1, it almost feels like we just took a long weekend break. It's really, honestly, just a big family. I know that's so cliche, but it really is. And yeah, I'm excited to be back.
All right, here we go, one more time.
Let's do it. Dark Matter.
been brought to my attention that my behavior is sometimes unreasoned, atypical of android standard. Weird.
The android, when I first started to play the blue android, was about figuring out how to take away and then what I could add back on to give her some semblance of personality. She is a kid in so many ways. She's instincts and she's impulses and she's newness and very much in the present. It's that about her that kind of propels her curiosity.
The behavior of this crew is atypical and may not be representative of humanity as a whole.
Did you just insult us?
The red android I always sort of imagine to be what we start with when you get sort of a cookie cutout of an android. And I see her as sort of a sociopath, completely without empathy.
You become a danger to this ship and everyone on board. And you know it.
There's no gray area. You know, if she thinks you need to die, she'd end your life without thinking about it, without giving it any thought whatsoever.
You know, I always say this, but anytime you get to do more things than you normally do in a character, like it's a gift.
I've always liked to take the characters out of what we're used to seeing, the way we're used to seeing them, right? Like, it's good to have a pattern that the audience is familiar with, and they get to know those characters and they're familiar and they like the way they interact, and then every once in a while it's good to just kind of just rip that out and just show them something completely different, that character in a whole new light. It gives the actress a chance to really stretch and do something cool and fun.
Oh my God, what does a girl have to do to get arrested around here?
You know, something has been uploaded into her neural matrix to kind of give her some semblance of what it might be like to be human, for lack of a better way to put it.
You don't think I can handle myself?
I didn't have a full character. I had an episode of a woman that looked like the android but wasn't. So Joe kind of gave me the idea that it was a bit like if the android got drunk, what might that look like?
Zoe's so good at playing an android and pretty damn good at playing a human as well. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Still not buying it. You know, in the first season, every rewrites would come out every week, and they'd be, oh, there's another 2 Zoe scenes. Because her android character is just such a wonderful, innocent, childlike character that's so much fun to watch.
She's going to evolve and become a bigger part of you know, some of the storylines that we'll see in the future. But the specifics, I don't know. I'll find out when you guys do.